Hello everyone, today we will be talking about all the 2025 elections in this video. First election we will be talking about is the New York City Mayor election, where of course Zoran Mamdani is doing extremely well in all of the recent polling. I am streaming this, or making this video 3 days before the election. No, 4 days before the election, which all these elections are on November 4th. I don't think Mamdani is going to do as well as the polling is saying, since a lot of his support is from the youth. I do think he will bring out a lot of the youth vote, a lot more than normal, and there was a very high percentage of early voting, which I do think is very good for Mamdani. But still, the youth typically doesn't come out to vote. Uh, I definitely do think there's still going to be very high youth turnout, and I still think he will win, but maybe not by 45%. I also do think the Republican support will collapse on election day itself, and I think a lot of it will go to Cuomo. Did I misspell Cuomo? Silly me. I do think a lot of it will end up going to Cuomo, just because when you're there on election day, I think people, which there's no stat backing this up, I do think people will think to themselves that Suela has no chance of winning, and if they really don't like Mamdani, they might as well vote for Cuomo. So I do think Suela will not do as good as expected. If we go to the Atlas poll, which is a very respected polling service, one of the most one of the most respected polling services, pretty accurate. Um, he's probably not winning by 25 as the Emerson has. So I know this New York map isn't the best, but just pretend this is all of New York and not just the New York 10th. So I think Suela is going to come in last place with around 14% of the vote, possibly maybe around 12. Uh, then we're going to see Cuomo come up with a little bit more, maybe around 35%. Now, if we um, still, I think I think he's going to be closer to 43%, and Cuomo is going to do better than expected. Even then, if we look at the Democratic primaries, Cuomo honestly did better than I expected personally. Uh, I do think it will be closer than expected. I think Mamdani is he's probably gonna win by 7%, maybe 7 to 8%. But um, so for this is my official prediction for New York is Mamdani to win by 8%, Cuomo coming in second with 39%, and then Suela coming in third with 14%. Now, I would not be surprised if the Cuomo support collapse and the rest of the support goes to Suela and he gets 20% the vote, then Cuomo's 33. But I think more likely is the Republican support collapse and it goes over to Cuomo. So my official prediction for the New York mayor race, I think Mamdani with 47% the vote, Suela with 14%, and Cuomo with 39. Now we're going to look at the governor elections. We'll first look at the Virginia election, which polling's pretty clear. The Democrats will probably win this one. They didn't run a very strong Republican candidate. Glenn Youngkin is one of the few Republicans that could have probably won Virginia last cycle, and even then, it was a shock election. As all the polling also had the Democratic candidate up by 8 points in 2021. So this time, I expect Democrats to do better, but I think it's only going to be around 5%. I don't think it's going to be as high as polling says. Maybe closer to a 4% win, but I definitely do think Democrats will take Virginia. Now we go to New Jersey. New Jersey's very close. I think it's going to be in that 1% margin, but I definitely do think that there has been a lot more Democratic support behind the Democratic candidate than Republican support behind the Republican candidate. For the Democratic candidate, we're seeing Obama, Pete Buttigieg, Gretchen Whitmer. We're seeing the entire roster come out to support the New Jersey governor race for the Democrats and a ton of funding. I've barely seen any Republicans come out and support the Republican candidate. I do think Democrats will take this and they will win New Jersey pretty easily by around 1%, though. Not easily, I should say, but close to 1%. Now on Prop 50, I forgot to do this. Let me go to Tools, California. Uh, there we go. I do think California on Prop 50, Republicans have given up on giving any funding to advertise against Prop 50. Even Republicans know Prop 50 will pass. I think Prop 50 will pass maybe with 10 to 15% of the vote saying yes to Prop 50. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and peace out.